This video is a bit deep and it's not for everyone, okay? But I want you to understand about these relationships you're enmeshed in. It's not just romantic, it can be all types of relationships, right? But really, these relationships were for convenience on both parts, okay? This is what it really is. It might be hard for you to see that now, and I'm going to touch on why quickly. The reason why it's hard for you to see that now is because the authentic soul, the empath, the chosen one, even when it's done out of convenience from their own selves, okay? Like someone just happens to be there or it's just conveniently like that, the empath and the chosen one does start to devote themselves towards someone, okay? That's the difference, all right? But really, at the initial stages, you were probably in your own lane. You were probably doing your own thing. And this would just happen to be a convenience, or you were actually going endlessly looking for something like that, or, you know what I mean? And you have to be real. That is what it is. The difference is you actually try to build these people up because you see them hurt. Basically, what happens is the soul ties that come in. As the soul ties come in effect, and you can have healthy soul ties, okay? And you can have soul ties in non-romantic relationships, right? But once the soul ties get the bind on the chosen one, empath, and genuine soul, they endlessly give. The difference is they're takers, okay? So what they start to use you as a convenience as, and I don't want to trigger anyone now, you need to stick around because you understand what I mean. They use you as a convenience to take your energy, right? But the way that they're looking at you, the whole relationship, is they're thinking, okay, they can use you to level up, all right? That's what starts to happen in their minds. Because they can see through you, a narcissist can see through you and know that you're there for familiarity, convenience, even though you're devoted to the cause. Even though you're devoted to them, you may, if it's a romantic relationship, you may never cheated, you may have been truthful, honest. They know from the initial days that you were there for a convenience. So they think in their minds, they deserve something better. They're not really aware of the concept of, you know, a lot of people are under the illusion of, let's focus on romantic relationships for a moment. A lot of people are focused on the Hollywood kind of romance and things like that, when really anyone who dives deep, you know, it often ends in disaster when you dive deep so immediately and rushing into things and stuff like that. So really, even though everyone's doing it for their own convenience, what I discussed in a recent video is about after you awaken, you're no longer that person. You're not going to affiliate with someone for your convenience, okay? And that's what happens after you awaken. So you actually become a better person, chosen one, empath, after these narcissists. So if you understand the very thing that they were after to use you to level up, you actually level up straight away, okay? And what I'm saying is, this is why these things don't last. Because this is why these things don't last. Unless, you know, you will go through repeat lessons if you, just on a side note, if you have awoken to narcissistic abuse and then you dive deep into another relationship and you fall asleep and then you wake up to another narcissist, you'll go, not a repeat lesson, it's an ever-evolving lesson, but I mean, it will feel sometimes like it's a repeat lesson. Oh, God, why did I do that again? You know what I mean? But the point being is people are out there conveniently settling in relationships. And I don't think it's the answer now. I don't think it's the answer in a time and the state of the world that we live in, because people are in it for self and they're being selfish, okay? As I said, this video's not for everyone, but hopefully if you can make it to the end, then you'll get a better understanding, right? So the point being is they do use you to level up, okay? But what seems to happen is in their life, they realize that that was even a better card that was dealt. Because other people are out there for their convenience, and they'll use narcissists and other types of creatures and these dusty weirdos for their own convenience, right? Other people will use them for their own convenience, but they're not going to become someone who actually strengthens the bond and really is devoted and truthful and all of that like you were. So what happens is the narcissist does go on their own version of a learning curve, and they realize that these values that you had were actually real. All they could see through the whole time is, you're just there for convenience. This is a problem. This is a problem. So they use you to level up. The leveling up goes for a disaster for them. They don't level up because in the whole relationship, they were the taker. They haven't got good karma on their sides or God or anything like that. They haven't got that on their side because they had bad intentions for the thing. You didn't really have bad intentions. This was a convenience for you, and you happened to then throw yourself deeply into the relationship. Okay? So this might be a bit deep for people that are like at the beginning of their journey, but I want you to look within. I think this will help with healing. This is why I'm addressing it in this way. Okay? Was you in a relationship, romantic or any type of relationship, where you felt like you could do better? Okay? And now the relationship's ended. Are you in a mind state thinking that was the best thing since sliced bread? Or that was the best thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know you went through trauma, but is that how you're viewing it? Like, they're better than you and stuff like that. And this is what I'm saying. Don't let that illusion take hold of you that somehow they're better and all that. It's just they've gone off of your energy and they've tried to make it seem like they're leveling up, when really you're the one who's leveling up, because no longer will you occupy your time with people for convenience. Okay? Gone are the days of those superficial relationships. So what you are searching for, and you may find in this lifetime, is something a lot more real. Okay? But it's not going to be like, this is what all people are under, this illusion, right? That these relationships are like Hollywood fucking Disney fucking, you know what I mean? All this crap. You know, it's not like that. It's really not like that. But certainly don't just be someone for a convenience. What I'm saying is, there's people, and you may have this mindset. I have to come with the cold, hard truth. You're having a mindset like, I'm looking to go and get married, or I am looking to have a child. Like, that's not like being with the person. You're using that person as a means. So it's about us leveling up and realizing that we're not just, it's all about the connection, okay, and the similar energy, all right? You don't want to be around bad spirits and bad energy and bad people that have selfish agendas, which I was touching on in the recent video earlier on today. You don't want to be around those people, okay? But and that's why don't do these convenient things. Oh, this person happened to be there, or this person like happened to be, you know what I mean? And you start hanging around with this friend, or you hang around with this romantic. Like, it leads you down the path of disaster, right? To be honest. And this is the thing. Someone mentioned in the comment section earlier, they said they told someone about the narcissist and things like that. They told someone about the narcissist, and then their friends were saying, oh, don't worry about that, like a pity sort of thing, like, oh, you don't have to look for, or something, you'll find someone or something, and all this stuff, right? And the point being is, they mentioned in the comment section today, so I did reply to the comment, I believe, yes. Hope they don't mind me sharing that. But it stuck out to me because that is the viewpoint of man and woman on earth. Okay, like, they see someone single or alone, and they think, that's strange. Do you know what it is? It's because there's a bit of mystery there. They don't understand what you're doing. Why are you dedicated to this is why I'm saying, don't just go for some convenient relationship. I'm telling you, you can get further ahead in life. While a lot of people's relationships are probably broken down, they're now researching narcissism, or they're going through these things, you've had like a premature awakening to this life, or to what's going on. Beyond age, okay, not a lot of people have woken up to the real truths of what's happening, okay? And that's why, to me, when I look upon certain relationships, even friendships and things like that, I think, okay, that friendship's happening because they indulge in substances together, or that friendship's happening because it's just a convenience for each other. You know what I mean? There's no fucking real truth in it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe, and the only times I see this is in older people's, like, not older, like, yeah, older people, some older family members, like grandparents and things like that. There was actually sacrifice on both sides, knowing that they could both go and do something else, but they're choosing to occupy with each other's company. That's the best way I can kind of articulate it. It's self-sacrificial, and that's what I feel like. For me to invest in someone like a friend or romantic relationship or something like that, it will take a huge part from me that I have in my own life that I'm currently enjoying, you see? And I do have friends, and there is, you know what I mean, there is times you sway and all of that, right? But honestly, a lot of these things are convenience and distraction to stop you from rising. So this is the leveling up that will happen. If you stay in the mindset of, oh, you need to meet someone to be this place in life, that's not going to get you forward, I don't think. You'll heal, but I don't think it's the right answer. Honestly, like I say, this is just a deeper video of me talking about how you find yourself being aware of what you were doing in your life, hanging around people or affiliating people for your own convenience and things like that. So you look within and you rise beyond that, so you're not on that level no more. And I think that then you will be on the same frequency of other people that are not in it so much for self. Not so much, but not in it for self. You know, they're not in it for selfish agendas, selfish gain. So the point being is, this narcissist and toxic individuals that you encountered, they always looked at you as someone that was around them because they were a convenience. They didn't truly cherish what you offered in your truth, transparency, and devotion that come with it. Like I touched on briefly about the soul ties, because the soul ties took firm hold and you were giving off positive soul ties, you grow fond of someone. That's what the empath and chosen one does. It takes them a lot longer for their heart to go into the right place, okay? So, and then you were devoted, you were loyal, you know what I mean? You were trying your best to be a good person. The difference was they were the taker. So they think they can propel off and level up, but it doesn't work out in that way, okay? It actually works out in that way for you, because they're never gonna look within and say, I need to stop just affiliating with people for my own convenience and selfish gains. They're not gonna do that. So this is a bit of the video's not for everyone, but I need to start coming with some raw truth, right? Not raw truth, like some real truth, to try and, you know what I mean? I think it will help. I don't know if it's gonna help the newer viewers, but if you're a newer viewer and you've seen this and you've resonated with it, my hat goes off to you, okay? Honestly. So anyway, if you'd like to book a one-to-one session with myself, you can find the link in the description box below, and I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.